one thing that you did that I feel like probably exposed you to a much bigger audience was that Netflix verified
Right.
special, which is like I don't know, 10, 15 minutes as part
Yeah.
of this showcase. Um, how did you think about introducing yourself to a broader audience in that? Was that on your mind? Was it something you thought about putting that set together?
No, I just thought it was perfect when that came together. I've never done late night, when the Fallons and shout out to Fallon, I'm happy to come. But we had late night interests like
Hmm.
Colbert and Seth Meyers and even, this Tonight Show to submit
And you
you
turned them
submit
down?
material. Well, I didn't turn them down. I just don't think it's the right, like, yes, like they want first of all, they weren't offering, they want to see 5 minutes and then they want
Mm.
to make sure it's all kosher and this and that for network.
Yeah.
And to me, stand up is like, I don't know. I guess I wanted to do late night, but it wasn't a goal to like make my comedy fit this thing. And then, as luck would have it, Netflix starts getting big and they don't need you to change shit.
Yeah.
So it was like perfect that my first television quasi late night experience was Netflix, because Netflix just made a lot more sense for me. And they were like, fuck yeah, whatever you say, go. Like they worked like that. Not to say that I wouldn't polish something up for a traditional late night set, but it just didn't feel necessary as much as it may have been years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you really go for it in that set too. I feel like,
Yeah,
for one thing, you call out Dave Chappelle as being transphobic, but then sort of in the next breath defend his right to be ignorant.
that's
Um,
it. Let old people be old. Like, I'm not trying to change anyone. It's just like, can't people be who they are?
so I guess Netflix was cool with that.
They were phenomenal with everything.
I've heard you kind of, praise, even you mentioned earlier Chappelle as someone you liked watching.
Yeah.
You've talked about someone like Tim Dillon,
Oh
as
yeah,
a
I
friend and someone
loved
you
him.
love. Do you feel this kind of kinship with, I think, what's now become known as the, quote unquote anti-woke comedy crowd?
I don't know. I just like what I like. I couldn't say a kinship or whatever.
Yeah.
I I like anybody who's great at what they do, whether I agree with them on everything or not.
Hmm.
I just like people who are good at what they do. So, uh, and laughter is unprovoked. It's
Hmm.
such a natural thing. So I just don't put myself, I don't give myself rules around what I like and what I don't like.
Yeah. And what about in terms of what you are putting out there? I mean, I feel like a lot of, at least in that set, it is a little bit more daring. You're sort of like, there's an element of daring the audience to disagree with you or, things like that. Is that something that you think about in terms of like provoking?
No, I literally just say what I like. You know what? Stand up is so interesting because in stand up, people ask me, do I prefer writing? Do I prefer stand up? Do I prefer working on my own show, somebody else's show? And to me, they're all different avenues and they're fantastic to have these different channels to put stuff. Because to me, writing is so collaborative. That's something I love about writing my own projects. And we have TV that we work on. So it's like, I might throw in a nugget to the room and then it ping pongs and it's trimmed and it's so tight and the fat is and it's amazing. Like I love the collaborative nature of writing. In stand up, I'm God. What I say goes. There's no, it's just if I think it's funny, I tell you. The audience trusts that I like they believe like I'm gonna bring you the funny, like and I don't need to consult another person. I didn't need to ask Netflix, is this funny? Is that if I thought they were like, yeah, we trust you. Like it's very like it's very immediate in that way. So the stuff I talk about is the stuff that I have experience with, that I'm living with, and that I'm seeing. Maybe I have a different perspective because I don't know, I'm not like that boxed in, but people can box, but also maybe sometimes I am, but I don't know. I'm a walking contradiction at every facet, just
Yeah,
regularly in life.
I get that.
So it doesn't, if people want to get me like, oh, you said this, but then this, I'm like, yeah, I lied.
Yeah, or you
Grow
change your
up.
mind, or you have
I
different
changed my
opinions on.
mind.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, what I'm thinking or something I'm going to tell you, and it wasn't deeper than that or anything more than
Hmm.
that or
Hmm.
tied to this or that, in my head at least.
Yeah. I mean, I think these new shows that you're in, talking about hacks and dying for
Yeah,
sex are raising your public profile in a lot of ways.
right.
But I would say nothing has raised your public profile quite as much as your recent marriage and how much attention
Oh
that
my
got
God,
in the press.
it's
I'm
true.
curious just what it's been like for you having all of that new public scrutiny that comes with marrying, a reality TV star who is incredibly, popular and loved and all that.
It's amazing. I mean, it's a miracle from God. Like it's a miracle. You know what? Great. I knew as her stardom raises, I knew she was the greatest girl when I met her. So, and again, what I think I is right for me. I knew she's
Hmm.
the greatest girl. Now, more and more, everybody's saying she's the greatest girl. So, was I lying? No, I wasn't. So now we see she's the greatest girl. I wasn't just saying I got the greatest girl. I know, like I was like, I need to marry this girl. I love her so much. So, no, it's amazing to be with her. Yeah, I think everybody loves her for good reason. I agree with all of them. Being with her, she handles that side of it. People think it's like this really busy thing. If she's doing an event or whatever, I don't have to book anything. I'm not booking the stylist or the hairdresser. If I'm in the hotel with her and I get this free hotel and I'm sitting with her and they have her hair being done, I'm enjoying like this. I didn't book anything. I didn't have to. I still do go do my stand up. If I have set like we have our own, we're not in. I'm not suddenly like tasked with doing more.
Yeah, yeah. I have to admit that I was not a bachelorette watcher, nor do I watch The
Right.
Traitors. So I sort of learned about who Gabby Windey was because I'm a fan of you, which I think is
Thank
might
you.
be the opposite for a lot of people learning
No,
about
and I
you
love
because of
those
her.
people. Those ones were a small community and a powerful community. Yeah, no, the Rob Hoff introduction ones, these are some, I love seeing it. Every so often I'll say something like, I'll see like, oh my God, like I've loved Robbie for years and now she's, I don't even know. And I'm going to watch the trade,
Yeah.
it's fewer and far between, but there's a power to that.
Has it inspired you at all to get into the reality TV world? Are you going to go on The Traitors or do any
No,
of that
I would
stuff?
be terrible on the traders. First of all, I can't even imagine getting to Ireland or Scotland, wherever it is. The flight alone, I would not survive. And never mind the food situation. I don't know if it's potatoes, if it's, I don't know. I just, I wouldn't even make it to the show, let alone to be on the show.
How do you feel about sort of being part of a famous queer couple in this way especially like in this moment and in the political moment and all that? I mean, that's something that has kind of been put on you guys whether you wanted it or not.
I guess I feel nothing. I haven't felt much of it. I do think, I mean, I think it's hysterical that Gabby was, you know, she's been gay a minute. She's the most famous gay person in the world. I've been gay since 17.
That's
I'm like,
yeah.
hello.
Isn't that kind of
Like,
what happens though? That's
yeah.
yeah.
So, now she's like gone from like, she wasn't gay, and now she's like the gayest. So to me, it's all just in good fun. And I don't know. I don't really feel it, but I think it's good. Probably. I would think it's not bad. I mean, it's like, we could have been in another year we could have been in another country and I could feel it's bad. So
Hmm.
the fact that I don't feel it much, and if anything, I feel it means good. I'm like, great. Wow,
Yeah.
Rob, you really fantastic. This could have been so much worse. 50 odd years on either end. And if you were born somewhere, I mean, this really worked out.
Yeah.
You got
You're
to give
you're
it to
you were
God.
born
It
at the
makes,
right time.
and then the contract, and then you got to give it to God again. Then I go, oh, well, queer. And then I'm like, look at God. Look at Hashem. Look what he's done. So
What did you think that your life would be like compared to what it is now with that in mind?
I'm literally living my dream, but it's not, I don't know if I even thought of it. I just know that the greatest luxury and dream I have is getting to do what I do every day for a living. As many days as I can do this and pay my rent and pay everything doing it, every day is as miraculous as the other and as fantastic. I just the fact that I don't have to wake up when I was an auditor, waking up, and especially in Montreal where I started, 7:30 alarm blaring. I had such a dread, I can't even tell you. Such a dread. And I would leave the apartment freezing, bundled, walking to the metro station, and it's still dark out, and you're crunching the snow, and you're leaving and it's dark. Like getting up, like getting up naturally when I wake up, which is now around 8 o'clock or 8:30, but I don't have an alarm. I'm getting to do what I love for a living. Every one of those days is it's so hard to do for most people, and it's the greatest luxury I have. Like that is the biggest luxurious life that I have. And I, for most people, some people don't have a passion. Some people don't, they can't. I have sibling, and yeah,
They
I
have
get
zero
to
personality disorder.
some of those, and they're more suited for the 9 to 5, those people. They might be in better, but yeah, I just get to work for myself and do this every day. I don't take for granted. I think it's just a huge, like that to me is like going to the spa, like whatever luxuries people
Yeah,
think of,
that's
that to
success.
me is
That's
my
yeah.
luxury. Yeah.